Okay, and we are live. Good afternoon, everybody. And we are going to start live. I know it's just a few minutes before we're starting, so I'm going to wait a little bit and let everybody get in here. And I want to say it's November 11th. So at 11/11/2020. And I want to say thank you for tuning into this live stream. So actually, nobody's tuned in yet, but I know some people will be listening to this a little later on their recorded versions. So I'm gonna wait a little bit, let everybody get in here. And Emily is right now sending out I forgot what it's called. She's sending out a letter to everybody, not a letter, a text, a message to everybody saying that we are on live. So hope everybody can come in. So Drew's asked her, she's sending links. Thank you, buddy. I could not think of the right word to use. I feel like I do good to get all of our technology words in, but I'm so thankful that we can get in here. And with this technology, we can spread God's word. So I'm thankful for things like YouTube and Facebook, and they're right up there. You know, one time it was radio and TV. Now we have all of these other ways of communicating. So I'm going to say hello to hello. My finger got stuck on the letter Z. Hello to everyone. So hello to everyone. And we are going to get started. We're going to talk about some more about Samson today and his family and a little bit about that. So I'm going to again wait and let everybody get in here. I'll probably announce this again, but I'd like you to remember my Uncle Roy Pounds and his wife Ronna in your prayers. They're not doing well. In fact, he is in ICU as I speak. And I want you to remember him. His blood sugar is, I think that's what she said. Oh, Cookie sent me a text. I'm going to get this corrected. Yeah, sugar. That's right. But his sugar, it says, I'm going to read what she says. Prayers for Roy. He is ICU with sugar over 1,000. I'm not in medical field. I know that sounds bad. I don't know exactly. Emily just told me what it's supposed to be, and I forgot the number she said. So that's why I'm not in the medical field, in the teaching and preaching field. But anyway, his sugar is over 1,000, and they just admitted Ronna in the nursing home. They are both needing our prayers. So before we begin, I'm going to just go to God in prayer, and those who come in can. I'm going to put this prayers for Roy and Ronna Pounds.
Is anybody else on?
Let's see. Rhonda is here, and Emily just said, "Is anybody else on?"
Mine is not working. Drew's is working, but mine is not working, and my links aren't working. So
Okay.
I'm going to have to keep trying.
Drew's is not working. Drew's here. Drew's here. Yeah.
I said Drew's is working. Mine is not working.
Yours is not working. Okay. Okay. So, one other thing about technology, while it is good, it's sometimes hard to get to running, isn't it? I guess that's like every machine. Once you get it to run, that's even true with cars and everything. But we're going to go to God in prayer. As I announced, my Uncle Roy Pounds is in the hospital. Cookie said his sugar is over 1,000. Again, I don't know exactly how bad that is. I just know that sounds bad. So let's go to God in prayer for him. Our Father in heaven, we ask your blessings now upon Roy and Ronna Pounds in this time of critical condition. Father, I ask you to be with them. I ask you to be with their caregivers, their medical staff, their family, all those who attend to them. And Father, if it be thy will for them to overcome this, that is, of course, our prayer. And in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. So I did want to start with that prayer for them and keep them in your prayers. And maybe we can have more updates later. So we're going to, it is 7:03 now. And I'm going to go ahead and look at where we are in Hebrews, and others will come in on this Veterans Day, holiday that we celebrate and we think about. We honor our veterans. We honor our veterans, and those veterans, many in my family, some have gone on to their reward, but we do honor the sacrifices that they made for our country. So I'm going to look at Hebrews chapter 11. Okay, Emily said, "Are you sure you did it right?"
Rhonda said on there she's having a hard time getting you live.
Well, okay. She said, "I'm here, but having troubles getting you live."
My computer won't do it.
Okay.
Huh?
What I'm looking at, it's saying live right here.
I wonder if you shouldn't start over. Is anybody else on?
It's got 2 on here. Drew and Rhonda Gerganis is on here. This says I am live.
Drew said he thinks something's wrong with YouTube.
Could be something wrong with YouTube then. But everything here looks like it always does.
Keep going, but like, I don't know if
I'm gonna
point if nobody can see it.
Well,
you're gonna stand here and talk to yourself.
It's gonna record though.
Maybe.
I mean, it's recording.
Is coming up. It says there is an error. Try again later.
Okay, this says live. It has the numbers counting.
Well,
it has the microphone. Emily is like Roz to Frasier to me, I guess. She's the one who, and those of you who don't know Frasier, that's kind of an old reference there, isn't it? Anyway, all right. So hopefully we can get things going, and it may, or maybe something wrong with Emily's phone. I don't know. So what we're doing is we're looking at Hebrews chapter 11, and time would fail me to tell of Gideon and Barak and Samson. So that's where we're going to go. We're going to go with Samson, and I want to go to Judges chapter 13. So if you will, go with me to Judges chapter 13. Okay. So I just had a request. Go to trying to get someone else here. Go to YouTube. See it with someone else here. If you are on and you are on the chat, go to you. Then go to our. If you're on and on the chat, let me know you're here. If you could tell me, I'm missing quite a few, and I have a request from a friend of mine how to get here. So go to YouTube and look for Dovertown Church of Christ, and the icon is a red rose. Now I use, and I said this when I first started, I remember telling everybody this when we were first getting online. I use that red rose because it's a picture that we own. Anna Laura took that picture. I actually grew the red rose that is on the icon, and I believe it was a Mr. Lincoln red rose. It bloomed so beautifully. Anna Laura took several pictures of it, and the next year it died. So I have been looking for a good Lincoln rose, and I bought a Lincoln rose. Mr. Lincoln's the name of that rose. I bought a Mr. Lincoln rose from a store around here that I will not name, because when the rose bloomed, it was not it was a yellow rose. It wasn't even Mr. Lincoln. It was mislabeled. And so I was so disappointed, and I didn't take it back because Emily said she liked the yellow one better than she did the Lincoln. I think what I ended up with might have been a peace rose. I don't know, but because it was kind of trimmed in pink. But I was really disappointed because I wanted another rose like the rose that is on our icon. So hopefully we'll have some more. So, okay. All right. So I'm sorry for all these interruptions, and we're going to get things started pretty soon because I've got a lot of study and I've done that. Uh, I want us to do. Okay. All right. So we said this prayer, and hopefully we'll have some people coming in. Join in on the live chat if you are here. We're going to talk about Samson, and let's see if we can go to Judges chapter 13. So I've left the home page now, and I'm on Judges chapter 13. I've on my thing up there, and I'm going to read on the birth of Samson. I know we went over this last time, and last time we studied about the Philistines, who they were and what they did. Uh, their society, how long they actually were a big thorn in the flesh to Israel, and all of these things. So I'm going to be reading from Judges chapter 13, and it says this. Again, the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord delivered them into the hand of the Philistines for 40 years. Now there was a certain man from Zorah of the family of the Danites, whose name was Manoah, and his wife was barren and had no children. And the angel of the Lord appeared to the woman and said to her, Indeed, you are barren and have borne no children, but you shall conceive and bear a son. Now, therefore, please be careful not to drink wine or similar drink, and not to eat anything unclean. For behold, you shall conceive and bear a son. And no razor shall come upon his head, for the child shall be a Nazarite to God from the womb, and he shall begin to deliver Israel out of the hand of the Philistines. So the woman came and told her husband, saying, A man of God came to me, and his countenance was like the countenance of the angel of God, very awesome. But I did not ask him where he was from, and he did not tell me his name. And he said to me, Behold, you shall conceive and bear a son. Now drink no wine or similar drink, nor eat anything unclean, for the child shall be a Nazarite to God from the womb to the day of his death. Then Manoah prayed to the Lord and said, Oh, my Lord, please let the man of God whom you sent come to us again and teach us what we shall do for the child who will be born. And God listened to the voice of Manoah. And the angel of God came to the woman again as she was sitting in the field. But Manoah, her husband, was not with her. Then the woman ran in haste and told her husband and said to him, Look, the man who came to me the other day has just now appeared to me. So Manoah arose and followed his wife. When he came to the man, he said to him, Are you the man who spoke to this woman? And he said, I am. Manoah said, Now let your words come to pass. What will be the boy's rule of life and his work? So the angel of the Lord said to Manoah, Of all that I said to the woman, let her be careful. She may not eat anything that comes from the vine, nor may she drink wine or similar drink, nor eat anything unclean. All that I commanded her, let her observe. Then Manoah said to the angel of the Lord, Please let us detain you, and we will prepare a young goat for you. And the angel of the Lord said to Manoah, Though you detain me, I will not eat your food. But if you offer a burnt offering, you must offer it to the Lord. for Manoah did not know he was the angel of the Lord. Then Manoah said to the angel of the Lord, "What is your name, that when your words come to pass, we may honor you?" And the angel of the Lord said to him, "Why do you ask my name, seeing it is wonderful?" So Manoah took the young goat with the grain offering and offered it upon the rock to the Lord. And he did a wondrous thing while Manoah and his wife looked on. It happened as the flame went up toward heaven from the altar, the angel of the Lord ascended in the flame of the altar. When Manoah and his wife saw this, they fell on their faces to the ground. When the angel of the Lord appeared no more to Manoah and his wife, then Manoah knew that he was the angel of the Lord. Manoah said to his wife, "We shall surely die because we have seen God." But his wife said to him, "If the Lord had desired to kill us, he would not have accepted a burnt offering and a grain offering from our hands, nor would he have shown us all these things, nor would he have told us such things as these at this time." So the woman bore a son and called his name Samson. And the child grew, and the Lord blessed him. And the Spirit of the Lord began to move upon him at Mahaneh Dan between Zorah and Eshtaol. Okay, now I'm going to come back to my live stream page, and we are going to talk now about Samson. Samson. We talked about the people who were in the country of Israel called the Philistines. Last week we talked about them, where they came from. And there's a lot to do. There's a lot to do with that. We talked about the angel of the Lord, and you know what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to make a correction here. Now, I made this correction in the description of last Wednesday's Bible class. But I said something that was incorrect. So I'm going to correct that right now. I said, when we were naming, I said, could we name some more people that an angel came to and told them that they were going to have a son? And in that list, I included Hannah, the mother of Samuel, and that was incorrect. So I said that. And really, the way that happened, Eli came to Hannah while she was in the temple, and you can read all this in the first chapter of First Samuel. Eli actually was the one who told. Now God had told Eli some way, but Eli was the one who came to Hannah. And in the next chapter, it does say, and it looks like this is what it's talking about, but you know, read a little closer there, which I should have done. It says that God visited Hannah, and she had more sons and that was, or had more children, and that was not a visitation like we see the visitation of the angel. That just means that the Lord allowed her to. His visit there was not like a visit that is like an angel, a physical visit. He visited her. It just means he blessed her, and she had more children. So I want to correct that, and I'm looking at First Samuel chapter 2 because I want to find that very I want to read that exact phrase that I read, and it kind of sounded like at first that it was a visit, like a visit from the angel. It's in verse 21. And this it says, "And the Lord visited Hannah so that she conceived and bore 3 sons and 2 daughters. Meanwhile, the child Samuel grew before the Lord." So she had 5 more kids, 6 kids, and now she had 4 sons and 2 daughters. So he did visit her, in the sense like through a blessing, through opening her womb, not in the sense like it looks like the angel appeared to Mary, the angel appeared to Elizabeth, the angel appeared to, uh, we talked about Sarah last week and Rebecca, but that knowledge of having Samuel was not from the angel. Somehow God told Eli, and Eli told her in 1 Samuel chapter 1, said that go in peace, in verse 17, go in peace, and the God of Israel grant your petition which you have asked him. I still, though, now let me say this, having said all of that, I still want to give credit to young Will Dawkins, because when I gave the clue for who I was thinking about with the angel coming, the clue was this was Samuel's mother. And Will Dawkins still got that right, because that still was Hannah. So little Will, who I believe is in the 3rd grade, I still give a shout out to you. And I still am happy that that you got to answer that question. Okay. A lot of people are not here. Don't know where a bunch of our members are tonight, but maybe they'll catch it when we get to recording. So, all right. So we're going to talk about Samuel. I'm sorry, Samson. I had Samuel on my mind. We're going to talk about Samson right now. And we're going to talk about now this visit of this angel. So what I'm going to do is look at what the angel said, what the angel did, and the instructions that the angel gave to Hannah. So looking at this, we have a lot of information. So let's go to where we said we want to start, and that was the angel's visit. Well, the angel came to Hannah and talked to her, and this, of course, she knew something was different. You can tell by the way she reacts to him, and he he appears to her. Verse 3 says he appeared to the woman. Now, an appearance like that, of course, would get someone's attention, and tells her that, yes, you're barren, but you're going to conceive, you're going to bear a son. All right, so here's the prophecy, she's going to bear a son. But look at verse 4. Now, therefore, please be careful not to drink wine or similar drink, and not to eat anything unclean. For behold, you shall conceive and bear a son, and no razor shall come upon his head, for the child shall be a Nazarite to God from the womb, and he shall begin to deliver Israel out of the hand of the Philistines. So I want to go back to this Nazarite vow, we call it. And I want to look at the Nazarite vow that Samson was supposed to be under. Okay, Samson, whose name means the son, I understand. I want to look at what type of person, when we see Samson, and see what he was supposed to be. So I want to look at what we know as the Nazarite vow. Now, this vow had several things that mostly they could not do. They could not drink any strong drink. They could not have anything made of the grape. No grapes themselves. They could not cut their head. They let the locks of their hair go free. Never cut their hair. So these would be long haired. These men would have long hair. They also had to keep clear from a dead body. Even in the case of the death of their nearest kin, they could not do that. They could not have this connection to anything dead. Now, you find all of this in Numbers chapter 6. So if you're with me, let's look at the 6th chapter of Numbers. And I'm going to read this down really almost to the end. Let's go to verse 21 because that ends the Nazarite vow. And let's look at this. All right. This is when Moses is getting the law. And concerning this law, there were certain peoples who could separate themselves and be closer to God, consecrate themselves. Okay. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel and say to them, when either a man or woman consecrates an offering to take the vow of a Nazarite, to separate himself to the Lord, he shall separate himself from wine and similar drink. He shall drink neither vinegar made from wine, nor vinegar made from similar drink. Neither shall he drink any grape juice, nor eat fresh grapes or raisins. All the days of his separation he shall eat nothing that is produced by the grapevine from seed to skin. All the days of the vow of his separation, no razor shall come upon his head, until the days are fulfilled for which he separated himself to the Lord. He shall be holy. Then he shall let the locks of the hair of his head grow. All the days that he separates himself to the Lord, he shall not go near a dead body. He shall not make himself unclean, even for his father or his mother, for his brother or his sister when they die, because his separation to God is on his head. All the days of his separation he shall be holy to the Lord. And if anyone dies very suddenly beside him, and he defiles his consecrated head, then he shall shave his head on the day of his cleansing. On the 7th day he shall shave it. Then on the 8th day he shall bring 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons to the priest, to the door of the tabernacle of meeting. And the priest shall offer one as a sin offering and the other as a burnt offering, and make atonement for him because he sinned in regard to the corpse. And he shall sanctify his head that same day. He shall consecrate to the Lord the days of his separation, and bring a male lamb in its first year as a trespass offering, but the former days shall be lost, because his separation was defiled. Now this is the law of the Nazarite. When the days of his separation are fulfilled, he shall be brought to the door of the tabernacle of meeting, and he shall present his offering to the Lord, one male lamb in its first year without blemish as a burnt offering, one ewe lamb in its first year without blemish as a sin offering, one ram without blemish as a peace offering, a basket of unleavened bread, cakes of fine flour mixed with oil, unleavened wafers anointed with oil, and their grain offering with their drink offerings. Then the priest shall bring them before the Lord and offer his sin offering and his burnt offering. And he shall offer the ram as a sacrifice of of a peace offering to the Lord. With the basket of unleavened bread, the priest shall also offer its grain offering and its drink offering. Then the Nazarite shall shave his consecrated head at the door of the tabernacle of meeting, and shall take the hair from his consecrated head and put it on the fire which is under the sacrifice of the peace offering. And the priest shall take the boiled shoulder of the ram, one unleavened cake from the basket, and one unleavened wafer, and put them upon the hands of the Nazarite after he has shaved his consecrated hair. And the priest shall wave them as a wave offering before the Lord. They are holy for the priest, together with the breast of the wave offering and the thigh of the heave offering. After that, the Nazarite may drink wine. This is the law of the Nazarite who vows to the Lord the offering for his separation. And besides that, whatever else his hand is able to provide, according to the vow which he takes, so he must do according to the law of his separation. Okay, so this vow separated these people. Now, here's a group of people. Let's just look at what we're doing here. Here is a group of people, the Israelites, who are separated to the Lord. And here is a group of people who are more separated to the Lord, more so than this nation that is separated to the Lord, because they're wanting to be separated from the people to the Lord. Why were these things chosen for his separation? I do not know. All we know is that God said this. Why not drink wine? That's what God said not to do. Why not, of all things, cut your hair? Because that's what God said not to do. And so we do picture Samson correctly when we picture him as this character with this long, bushy hair. You know, I say bushy, it was at least long. We do have that correct picture of him as this strong man with long hair because he was a Nazarite. And that particular part of the Nazarite vow we're going to focus on later with Samson, the hair, because Samson had the long hair. Now, when you made this vow, you made this vow for, let me say this, different people made this vow for different periods of time, okay? So, looking at this vow that they made could be done in several different ways. Okay, so there was a perpetual Nazarite. There was one who would do it for life, and a Nazarite forever. And so for their whole life, they never tasted strong drink or any vinegar, wine, anything from the grape. Never cut their hair, never touched a dead body. All of these things. And look, even if it was their father or mother, and here's the thing, if somebody died next to him, remember we read. Now what would that be? Well, I cannot speak. When would that be possible? Well, let's say you're in battle. You're in the Nazarite. You're a Nazarite and you're in battle. Well, the person next to you gets killed and could even fall over on you. That could happen. Okay. You had to go now, cut your hair and start all over. That was the end of it. You were defiled, even if it was accidental. Someone may have a heart attack, you know, as Hebrews 9:27, we're all appointed to die, wants to die. We don't know when that is. And that happened in the Old Testament too. Someone next to you could die in battle, could die of a heart attack or get murdered, or I mean, we could go on and on with how people could die. But if that were to happen, well, when that living person became a dead body and you touched it, you touched that corpse, you had to go to the tabernacle or later on to the temple, to the priest, and you had to take care of that. Your head was shaved, you started all over. And I'm sure that was aggravating. And why exactly did God command all of it this way? I do not know, and I don't know of anyone that really does, except for some guesses, except for this is another one of those cases that we have to say because God said so. That's what God said for them to do. Uh, Later on, we'll see verse where Paul writes, does not nature itself teach you it's a shame for a man to have long hair? And yet, here were people who had long hair, who were told to have long hair. Why one, not the other, is what God said. Why is Timothy told to take a little wine for his stomach's sake? The Nazarites were told not to. Here's what God said. It goes along with everything from every command God made, from baptism to using unleavened bread to represent the body. Why this? Why that? To represent things. That's what God said to do. And your faith in God many times comes by how we obey Him. These people who are in this list in Hebrews 11 were people who obeyed God. Now, the hair issue got Samson in trouble, or Samson, what Samson did with it got him in trouble. We'll look at that in a little bit. So we have these people who took the Nazarite vow for just a few days. Now, I want to ask you this. Does anybody, and we haven't asked any questions yet, have we? And I don't have very many here. So I'm hoping people are, maybe they can chime in. Does anybody know and remember any other Bible characters who took the Nazarite vow? So this is our first trivia question. I'm going to see if we have people here on this, but I know some people will listen and not really type in until they answer a question. Can you think of anybody else that either it expressly says or it looks like by what they did, they took a vow to the Lord? So I'm going to see if we have an answer on that. And I know, like I say, we're missing so many who usually just chime in that I'm kind of hoping that this is all be this is all being recorded. Rhonda, I know I am because Rhonda said I am. That's right. Rhonda said, okay, you just came on. So can we think of any other people who took the Nazarite vow? Took the Nazarite vow. Oh, good. Ollie's here. Yay. Yes, Hannah did this for Samuel. She absolutely did. Now, this is something that we can look at, right? So, uh, we got Samuel. He was one. Okay, good. People are coming in now. All right. Who else besides Hannah who did this for Samuel? Yeah, and a lot of times I didn't say this. Sometimes the parents would take this vow for their kids. You know, they would consecrate their kids to be for the Lord. And, you know, sorry, the kid had no say so in it, but, you know, we teach our kids other things they have no say so in. So that's okay too. So, oh, good. Emily says it is finally working. Yeah, so who besides Hannah did this for Samuel? Can we think of any other people who took, and really what you see in some of their cases is just the word thou. Look, and I'll just give you some scriptures to look at. How about this? Look at Acts chapter 18, verse 18. And Acts chapter 21, verses 23 through 26. Let's see if that gives us another character. Acts 18 and Acts 21. And see if that gives you another character who took the Nazarite vow. Sometimes we don't think of this. And this one was taken in the days of Christianity. It makes me ask the question, could we, if we wanted to, take this vow now? I have seen my hair go bushy enough, one would think I was taking the Nazarite vow, but I can say I have not. So I gave you the scriptures. Let me just put these up here. Acts 18. Did I say that was 18? I believe I did. And Acts 21, 21 through 26. Yes. Oh, Angie's here. Good, good. Yes, Paul did. Paul took this vow. He certainly did. And I want to look at these uh, scriptures that say this. So Acts 18:18, Acts 21, verses 23 through 26. Oh, good. Wendy's here. Oh, my people are coming in. Okay. I wondered where everybody was. Howdy, Wendy. So, yes, Paul did take this Nazarite vow. He sure did. I'm going to read this. And I'm going to read from the New American Standard Version because the information I have, this list, it has it printed in that. I want to read it from that. Paul, having remained many days longer, took leave of the brethren and put out to sea for Syria. And with him were Priscilla and Aquila. In Cenchrea, he had his hair cut, for he was keeping a vow. Now, the haircut and the vow there looks to be the only vow we know of similar, of anything that had to do with cutting your hair. And that would be this Nazarite vow. Okay, so let's look at Acts 21, 23 through 26. Therefore, do this that we tell you, we have 4 men who are under a vow. Take them and purify yourself along with them and pay their expenses so that they may shave their heads, and all will know that there is nothing to the things which they have been told about you, but that you yourself also walk orderly, keeping the law. But concerning the Gentiles who have believed, we wrote, having decided that they should abstain from meat sacrificed to idols, and from blood, and from what is strangled, and from fornication. Verse 26. Then Paul took the men, and the next day, purifying himself along with them, went into the temple, giving notice of the completion of the days of purification until the sacrifice was offered for each one of them. All right, so here, Paul and these men do this vow, and you could take the vow for several days. Uh, very similar, very similar in a way to fasting. Now by that I mean this. Fasting was when you didn't eat anything. In this vow, you didn't eat grapes or anything with vinegar. The Nazarite vow didn't eat anything from the grapevine, from the seed. Couldn't eat anything made out of grape seeds, anything out of the skin of the grape. And it said anything from the vine. I guess that would include the leaves. I see in cuisines now where they take these leaves that are grape leaves and wrap up food, rice and things in them, and pin it together with the grape leaf, and you can cook it in the oven with this grape leaf around it. And they do this in some Mediterranean cultures. And Angie Slate says, Mom is with me. She says, hello. Hey, Gail, how are you? Oh, now that makes my day too. That Gail's here. We love you, Gail from Cookie. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. All right. So good to have Gail with us. And we're talking about this Nazarite vow that Samson took and what was involved in this Nazarite vow. Paul took the Nazarite vow. Samuel took the Nazarite vow. Oh, there's someone else that we're forgetting who took the Nazarite vow. Yes, there is. If I'm not mistaken, someone else took the Nazarite vow. And this person is in the New Testament books. So, let me see. Someone else that we know. Let's look in Matthew. If I am not mistaken, and some commentary, this commentary I have here says that he did. Let's see. Yeah, absolutely. Let's look at Luke chapter 1 and verse 15. Oh, Emily got it. Emily got it. Luke chapter 1, verse 15. And it tells who else took the Nazarite vow. And I'm going to go read that for us. Let's go to Luke chapter 1. Okay. This, as Emily said, John the Baptist. And in Luke chapter 1, let's just go look at this. Okay. Where did I find Elizabeth? Okay. So this is when the angel came to Zacharias and told him that his wife Elizabeth would bear a son. The angel said in verse 13, but the angel said to him, do not be afraid. Well, I guess I better go back to John the Baptist, the angel appearing. And the angel, let's just start verse 11. Then the angel of the Lord appeared to him standing on the right side of the altar of incense. And when Zacharias saw him, he was troubled, and fear fell upon him. But the angel said to him, do not be afraid, Zacharias, for your prayer is heard, and your wife Elizabeth will bear you a son, and you shall call his name John. And you will have joy and gladness, and many will rejoice at his birth. Now look at verse 15. For he will be great in the sight of the Lord, and shall drink neither wine nor strong drink. He will also be filled with the Holy Spirit, even from his mother's womb, and he will turn many of the children of Israel to the Lord their God. So this looks to be the Nazarite vow too, or at least part of it. Okay. And okay, thank you, Emily. I came in late and it might have been mentioned, but just in case, number 6, 1 through 21 are the verses on the law about the Nazarite vow if anyone wants more info. And yes, I read those 21 verses. So we're thinking alike. I read number 6, verses 1 through 21, and looking at the Nazarite vow. So here is our question. Let's see if we can recap. What did the people have to do, and said man or woman, who took the Nazarite vow? Let's see if we can list all the things that these people had to do to take the Nazarite vow. The teacher in me is coming out because we are reviewing what we just taught. What did the people have to do when they took the Nazarite vow? So I'm waiting on you, my contributors. And if you are at home, of course, turn and talk, see if we can recap all of this. Do not eat or drink anything from a grape, seed to skin. Do not cut your hair. All right. What else? All right. Don't eat or drink anything from a grape, from the seed to the skin. Rhonda's saying like we did to the scan. To the scan. We say scan down here. Rhonda, you're in Alabama. We can say scan to the scan. I don't know if anybody says it that much, but that was fun. All right. Do not eat or drink anything from a grape, from seed to skin. Don't cut your hair. Okay. What else? Besides that, there's something else they could not. Actually, something else they couldn't drink besides anything from the grape. There's something else they couldn't drink. Not only wine, but my thumb's typing correct at times. All right. Can't be around a dead body. Can't touch a dead body. Can't even be around their closest of skin. Also, no vinegar. Yes, can't drink vinegar or any similar drink. You know, it just dawned on me, Miss Emily. A Nazarite could not eat your good pickles. That would be hard. So no pickles. If they, I don't know. I wonder if they pickled things back then. I don't know. That'd be something to look up. But they couldn't drink or eat anything that was from a dead body. I'm sorry, that was from grape or from a dead body. Ooh, uh, good movie to watch on that is The Last Sin Eater, where this community had, they were from one of the, maybe of a Celtic background, one of the ancient Ireland or somewhere over Wales, somewhere like that. And they had a tradition of laying food over a dead body, and one person was supposed to eat that food to eat the sins of that person, to allow the person to go into eternity without their sins. It's a very good movie, very good movie that they put together. It has the little boy who was the young man in it is the little boy who is from E.T. He's a grown man, but the last sin eater, they ate the food off of the corpses. That could not happen with the Nazarite vow. So that's the Nazarite vow. Okay, so let's go on. We're talking about this angel's visit and what the angel said. Okay, so I'm going to go back into that now and look at what else the angel tells. Now, you shall be a Nazarite to God from the womb. So this looks like a lifetime here. And let me say again what the angel said. He shall begin to deliver Israel out of the hand of Philistines. Samson did not deliver them out of the hands of the Philistines. He was to begin the process of it. His job never was to begin it. He was to get it started. Now we know he started it very well when all those people died in that temple he pulled down. And we'll get to that when we get to that part in the story. But when this happens, Samson's mother, who is not named, comes and tells Manoah what happened. This man came to me. And look at this. His countenance, his face was like the countenance of the angel of God. Very awesome. When angels came to people, we see them appearing in different forms. Sometimes the people didn't know they were talking to an angel. Sometimes they looked just like people. Sometimes, like here, you could tell there's something different about his countenance. It's very awesome. So much so that she forgets to ask him where he's from, and he did not tell me his name. And she tells Manoah that he said to me, behold, you shall conceive and bear a son. Why did they do it different here than they did Zacharias? Why did they, like the angel told Zacharias himself? I don't know. That was not the way God wanted to do it. It may have been that Manoah needed to hear it from her first. I don't know. It's the way it happened. Some things we just need to say, I don't know. But he said, you shall conceive and bear a son. And she tells him, drink no wine, similar drink, eat anything unclean, for the child shall be a Nazarite to God from the womb. All right. From the womb to the two. Now look at this. Here's his, like this says, from the womb to the day of his death. From the womb to the day of his death. The actual telling of the angel's words are from the womb. She may have either added to the day of his death, or when it's believed Samuel, who wrote Judges, he might not have put that part in on purpose. And or it could be that this was just understood. From the womb meant from the womb on. But we see added here, and it is recorded. The Holy Spirit allowed this to be recorded in the scripture that he was from the womb to the day of his death. So he was a perpetual Nazarite forever. So when she tells him this, look at how godly Manoah is. He doesn't call her names or get on to her. He's so kind, he seems to her. But he prays to God and he says, can I see him? Can this man come again? Praying to see him. And look at his attitude. Manoah says, teach us what we shall do for the child who will be born. That is such a humble attitude that we need today, folks. Teach. We sing the song, teach me to do thy will. And that is in the hymn, pure in heart, O God, help me to be. And that that attitude, that attitude is the attitude that we need to have, just like that hymn says. Now, I want to look and I just want to go over the lyrics of this hymn. Listen to this, and we've sung it many a times, but very old hymn, uh, and it 1800s, 1887. Listen to this. Purer in heart, O God, help me to be. May I devote my life wholly to thee. Watch thou my wayward feet, guide me with counsel sweet. Pure in heart, help me to be. Verse 2. Pure in heart, O God, help me to be. Teach me to do thy will most lovingly. Be thou my friend and guide. Let me with thee abide. Pure in heart, help me to be. Verse 3. Pure in heart, O God, help me to be. Until thy holy face one day that I see. Keep me from secret sin. Reign thou my soul within. Reign, reign. Reign thou my soul within. Pure in heart, help me to be. So now this original says, until thy holy face. The version we have sings, that I thy holy face one day may see. And I like that. I like that too, because being pure in heart will help us to see God's face. Beautiful hymns like this are why I know some of our own brethren make fun of me because I do sing every verse of every song. How could I leave out verse 2 that says, teach me to do thy will? Teach me to do thy will most lovingly. Be thou my friend and guide. Let me with thee abide, pure in heart. Help me to be. That is the way we should be. This is Manoah's attitude. Teach us what we shall do for the child who will be born. Such a humble. Another song, thou art the potter, I am the clay. Isn't that what we need to be like? Now, God listened to the voice of Manoah, and the angel of God came to the woman again as she was sitting in the field. But Manoah, her husband, was not with her. And then she runs and gets him and says, look, he's here again, the man who came by the other day. Now, when Manoah comes, look what he asks her. Are you the man who spoke to this woman? And the angel says, I am. And so he says, let your words come to pass. So he asks him, what will be the boy's rule of life and his work? And instead of giving the answer straight to him, look at what the angel does. I think this is interesting. Of all I said to the woman, let her be careful. In other words, now I told her this, and everything I said, she needs to be careful to do. Then he starts repeating it. She may not eat anything that comes from the vine, nor may she drink wine or similar drink, nor eat anything unclean. All that I commanded her, let her observe. Isn't this interesting? Now we know today, and I remember when we were expecting an Alara. I can't remember the name of that insurance that we had. Well, anyway, we had a type of insurance that Emily, you may have to fill in this gap for me. We had to go to this class to uh, take classes on how to be the that we had to go take this class on how to be good expecting parents. And one of the things that they kept harping on was staying away from strong drink. Of course, staying away from something they didn't do in the Bible, that was smoking. Staying away from strong drink because of the effects it would have on the child within the womb. Okay. Emily said it was just birthing classes at the hospital. Medicaid's what I was thinking about. I thought it was because we were on Medicaid. We had to take that at that time because I didn't have a teaching job. Anyway, this teacher really, I'd say, harped upon it. She emphasized the importance of the mothers taking care of what she ate and drank and put into her body for this child. Now, exactly what the angel said to Manoah. You be sure she, this is the mother, doesn't drink anything that comes from the vine, nor may she drink wine or similar drink. Now, one commentary I read said that they had already discovered how to make beer at this time. And this similar drink could very well include that. Similar drink, nor eat anything unclean. Now, we know they had a list of that. And look at this. All that I commanded her, let her observe. It's kind of like a strong warning to Manoah that you let her do this, buddy, because this guy here that you're fixing to give birth to is going to begin to deliver Israel. Don't stand in the way of her. Now, you know, Zacharias got himself in trouble with the angel when he didn't believe it. The angel made him where he couldn't speak. And he didn't believe the angel. Manoah didn't do that. Manoah's very cooperative. And he says, please let us detain you. Let us feed you something. And the angel says, I will not eat your food. Your food being, of course, Manoah and Samson's mother's food. But could it be human food? I don't know. But he said, if you offer burnt offering, look at this, you must offer it to the Lord. Nowhere do we see the angels that come to the people accepting worship, like when the one came to John on the Isle of Patmos. They did not accept worship from humans, did not accept it. So Manoah did not know at this time this was an angel of the Lord. And so Manoah tells him a very innocent question, as we would do when we meet people. What is your name? And when your words come to pass, we may honor you. And maybe he thought this angel was a prophet. Apparently, he did not look anything to make him think angel. So let's get out of our mind a picture of someone in a long white robe with big wings and a halo that we like to, picture every angel looking like. Apparently, this one just looked like a human because he just said, well, what's your name? And when your words come to pass, we may honor you. How would they honor him? They could do that in several ways. They could put his name on the baby's name, would be, I guess, one of the most honorable ways, or they could just make him mention this is just like so and so said it would happen, whatever it was. But look at what the angel answers him with. Why do you ask my name? Seeing it is wonderful. I believe the old King James says seeing it is secret. Wonderful is more what it's talking about. Wonderful not meaning, oh, that's just so good. Wonderful means full of wonder. We are not told every angel's name. We're not told that every angel has a name. Some angel's name may have been given to them with what they do, about what they do, the angel that does this. And it could have been something too much for the human mind to know about or didn't need to know about for some reason. It's too wonderful. Uh, very protective of his name. And Manoah doesn't hound him about it. Okay, that's fine. I'll take the young goat with the grain offering. And so he offered it to the rock. And look at what happens. The angel here, the capital, he did a wondrous thing while Manoah and his wife looked on. So look at what happens here in verse 20 and 21. The flame, as it goes up toward heaven, the flame of this sacrifice, as it goes up, the angel gets in the flame and goes up. He ascended in the flame of the altar. As the flame goes up, the angel, I don't know what word to use except turns into or gets into or transmits into or somehow teleports, if there's a word there we could imagine. He gets in the flame, maybe turns into the flame, and he goes straight up to heaven. And when can you imagine seeing this, the shock, the dumbfoundedness you would have to the extent they just fall over. No one's ever seen anything like this. They fall over. They fell on their faces to the ground. And then Manoah knows, and you could just shiver along with them as they see this together. And then the angel, here's a good trivia question. We're near to the end. Who else asked an angel their name and the angel did not tell him? Well, I gave that part away. It's a him. Who else asked the angel for his name, for the angel's name? And the angel did not tell his name. Now, while you're thinking of that, I want to read something from all. He shall offer one he lamb to the Lord without blemish for a burnt offering, yes, and one ewe lamb of the first year without blemish. That was also part of the vow I didn't say was the sacrifices that they had to make. Thank you for bringing that out. They had to, part of the Nazarite vow, at the end of the vow, when you took it and cut your hair, you offered it. You offered a sacrifice, as we read here, the lambs. Thank you for bringing that out because I did not bring that in. But now I'm to this question. What other person asked an angel his name and the angel would not tell him? So let's see if these answers can come in. Who asked the angel for his name? Who else asked the angel for his name and the angel would not tell him? Ooh, I'm getting nothing on this. Okay, let's see. Let me give you a hint. Ah, think about a wrestling match. So if there's your hint. Think about a wrestling match in the Bible. Who asked an angel for the angel's name during a wrestling match? Yeah, That should be our good hint. Who asked an angel for his name? Yes, Angie got it. Jacob. When Jacob wrestled the angel, uh, to find it's an angel, by the way, I believe you have to look at Hosea 12, verse 4. He wrestled the angel of God. It tells us there. But Jacob asked the angel for his name, and it was the same response Manoah got, that he would not give. Why do you ask for my name? So anyway, Jacob did this. This angel, as he did with Manoah, this angel did not give his name either. So that the angel is not named should be nothing unusual to us. Not all of the humans are named in the Bible, are they? Men and women, many of them, like Samson's mother. We could go on, whose names are not given. Potiphar's wife, the widow of Nain, the 10 lepers, bunch of people whose names are not given in the Bible, and some of the angels' names are not given in the Bible. I had thought I would see how many we could list whose names not given in the Bible. Time does not allow for that. I do want to say this. Manoah is scared. And we don't know when he says this, but it appears to be right there in front of the altar. After they've fallen on their face, the angel has gone up, and it could have been a little while, like how long are we going to stay here? And Manoah says, we're going to die. We've seen God. But I want you to look at how smart his wife is. Manoah and his wife remind me a lot of Emily and me, because I'll get scared of something and Emily can give me 5 reasons why I shouldn't be, or vice versa. I'm not scared of something. She can give me 5 reasons why I should be. So his wife says to him, Manoah says, oh, we're going to die. And his wife says, I was like, look, listen, if the Lord wanted to kill us, he wouldn't have accepted a burnt offering. He wouldn't have accepted then a grain offering. He wouldn't have shown us all these things and told us that we're going to raise this son. And, therein is a lot of things. We're going to raise the son. We're not supposed to take any strong drink or anything like it. He's going to be a Nazarite to the day of his death and all of this. He wouldn't have told us such things as these at this time. It's almost like she's talking common sense to him. Look, no, Manoah, no. We're not going to die, or the Lord, if he wanted to kill us, he'd have done that. I know he's not supposed to say done, but I just did anyway. So God didn't kill him. And Manoah gets over his fear. And she bears a son and calls his name Samson. The Spirit of the Lord began to move upon Samson. I had to do a lesson on the Holy Spirit for the Curry Church of Christ for a youth rally. That was their theme. And I didn't get to finish my lesson because a tornado came in the middle of it, and we had to quit. But anyway, my assigned topic was the Holy Spirit in the Old Testament. Here we see the Spirit of the Lord moving upon Samson, and that was something that I talked about in that lesson, that here was the Holy Spirit moving upon him. And Samson, looking at now the picture of what kind of life he was to live, and the promises that he was given, the very name, the training of the children that should begin early, that should be fit to them for the service of God. The training that rests upon their parents. These types of things are true today. That guidance should be sought from God, like Manoah said, teach us how to teach this kid. There's a very good parenting lesson. And y'all know I teach parenting classes. And there's a very good parenting lesson here in Manoah on the training of the child and his growth, Samson's growth, that he was to grow and be dedicated to God. And the Lord blessed him. Not told how, that doesn't matter. May have been that Samson didn't recognize this blessing. But we know later on that he's going to be blessed with strength. So the Lord began, the Spirit of the Lord began to move him. We see his inspiration. And even here, we're going to see some problems that Samson had, but we know that God blessed him one way, and that was with superior strength. Uh, to the extent that his name is synonymous with strength. Drew, I don't know if I told you this or not, so I think I want to tell this in front of everybody. When Drew was to be born, we did not have a name exactly picked out yet, and Anna Laura wanted to name Drew Samson. That was her idea. She's kind of set on that. We did not name him Samson. We named him Drew. And I think one time I told you this as a kid, and you were mad at Anna Laura because Samson, the strong man, would have been your name. And you didn't get that name, but you are a very strong man. You could have worn the name very well. Samson, synonymous with strength. We have, remember, suitcases that have that name because they're strong. Yeah, that's old news to you. That's true, Drew, but everybody else didn't know it. Anyway, I almost had a Samson myself, but we didn't do that. Anyway, this is our lesson on Judges chapter 13. I want to go to chapter 14 next week, Lord willing, and talk more about this strong man named Samson. That he was a Nazarite. He was quite a character, quite an interesting person. Listed in the Hall of Fame of the Faithful, and I want to meet him one day. I hope to see him, and he's one of those characters we need to remember, folks. Whenever you're talking about a Bible character, and I'm talking, if any preachers are listening to this, before you get up there and just down a character, give them up and down. You better remember that you may meet that character one day. If you make it to heaven, and they do too, but you're going to meet that character one day. You need to talk about people like you talk about them if they were there, even with these Bible characters. And I don't see that a lot at all with a lot of preachers. But we need to remember we might meet these people one day. And I don't want to meet them and them say, "Yeah, I heard about that sermon you preached about me. Let me tell you a little bit more." I want to give Samson the honor that he deserves. And we want to do that. We're going to, of course, learn from him as his mistakes are put in the Bible, as all Bible characters' mistakes are put in the Bible, as well as their accomplishments. That's what we like about the Bible. It doesn't just glorify, it also will tell the truth. Abraham was the father of the faithful, but he lied. Noah saved the whole world, but he got drunk. The Bible doesn't mince words. David, a man after God's own heart, but he committed adultery and had a man killed for it. You see the good and the bad. Samson, strong man. We'll see a weakness that he has. Let's talk about that next week. We hope to meet at the building at Dovertown Sunday at 11. And that'll be the next time we get to meet and discuss things about God. I want to thank you all for tuning in to this live stream. And I enjoyed talking with you. I enjoyed your answers. I'm sorry it kind of got off to a slow start, but anything you missed, if you want to go back and listen to the recording, that'll be okay, of course, because it'll be here on YouTube. And I want to say thank you to everybody. I hope that more people are getting it recorded. I had some friends that said they wanted to listen in. I give a shout out to them, to some of my friends, to if she got to hear it, to my friend Sandy. Now I have a brother-in-law named Sandy. This is another Sandy, and some of my friends with her. Give a shout out to y'all. Maybe y'all got to listen to it. If not, it didn't hurt to give you a shout out, I guess. So thank you to everybody for joining in. And we're going to stop it right here so that you can go on and have a very good rest of the Wednesday evening. And I hope that God blesses you richly throughout this next week. And until the next time we meet again, we'll meet again here, 2 o'clock on Sunday afternoon for our Sunday afternoon worship service. I hope to see you there. And until that time, may God bless you. Good night.